You can. I don't see it. What's going on, y'all? It's another episode of Minding Your Biz. This is a special edition. We live.
Special edition.
We
tried
live.
to take it up a little bit.
Yeah.
We live, y'all. So we don't know what's going to happen today, but God willing, we're going to get through it. And hopefully at the end of it, you've figured out some ways that you can, mind your business.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. So this show,
What's
we're
happening?
talking about Minding Your Biz, all things biz.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing current events and extracting good business lessons, right?
No,
so
for sure. We are in an
Another little
election
pivot.
year,
Yeah.
right? So we know that
Good old 4
politics is no, it's almost every two. Don't mislead the folks because they need to vote on those midterm elections, local elections matter.
Oh, okay.
Please. We're trying to get the people together. Midterms, vote every 2 years. Don't. And sometimes it's every year. And some, you got county, you got local.
Yeah.
Stay connected. That's what I'm saying.
It's too much
Anyway,
damn voting.
I digress. So it is an election year.
Right.
So we know that November 16th, maybe to be kind of a roundabout, you will be voting for a lot of things. But of course, the president election is the one that's shaking the table.
Speaking of president.
Shaking the table.
Because
we could be electing the first woman of color, black president. Right? And there's other developing countries who've already had women presidents.
Oh yeah.
Tons in Africa.
For sure.
And this is our first time. So that says a lot. Says a lot.
She will be on the ballot.
She will be
on the ballot.
Yes. Kamala.
And what's the man's name? Tim Walz.
Hey Tim, the first Democratic senator to win in a super conservative district in Minnesota. Right? It's in Minnesota.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, he's from Minnesota. So she has a really good running mate. It helps some of the fear mongering go down because he is a white man, Let's just go ahead and say that. He helped the people relax a little bit.
Yeah.
It's politics. What if they would have threw Stacey Abrams up there?
That's what I was thinking.
Baby.
Should have just threw a woman in there.
Just do Stacey Abrams with the locks.
Two women.
She black.
Why
you
not?
Can't deny she ain't black.
That's right.
And she big back black.
Bold too.
Listen. Child, they would have been upset.
See, I'm from Mississippi.
They would have been upset.
What'd she say? Gulf, Mississippi, somewhere down in Mississippi.
Baby, I like it.
Listen, so speaking of that, Trump was at the first of all, I didn't even know this was a thing, black journalist convention.
Well, we always need a black something because we're always a minority in most industries, sir. So we always have to carve out a space for us because they don't include us.
Well, I ain't disputing that.
I
just didn't know that it was a black journalist.
It's a black everything.
And that was the thing. And it's like the whole thing. They got a website, been up for years, right. Everything.
We now got a black text, right? We gotta carve out spaces for us in industries.
It was nice to see. From a media outlet too, because they, I support groups like that.
Yeah.
But they asked for presidents to appear at the conference, and Trump accepted.
How nice of him.
He heeded the call.
Nice.
Although he thought that his opponents would be there in person versus being on Zoom. He told the people that he was misled in a sense, but
whatever.
His
whole life is misleading.
Well, I don't know about that, but he had some exciting things to say while he was there. One of the things we found in particular, I thought was interesting for us to kind of see. We're gonna cue up the clip here in a minute, and we'll talk about it.
All right.
Let's see what happened.
Sir, I think somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black. until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman.
I
She went to a
respect
historically
either
black
one.
college.
I respect either one,
Yes,
but she
yes,
obviously doesn't.
definitely.
Because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do
And
you
I
believe that
think
she is
somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
So, interesting clip. Now, let me first say, this whole interview was quite hilarious to me. It was very funny.
It was very funny. If you were not running for president, it is very comical.
It was very funny. The thing that is a couple things I do take issue with though. And you know, it's interesting. I don't even know how to I don't even know. It's a couple things that I take issue with when it comes to the way I feel like we displayed ourselves at this convention, right? And so the first thing was when you watch how the convention opened up, the lady, like the first person who asked him the first question, was very direct and very charging toward him. I mean, it made him very defensive. He was defensive the whole interview.
He's always defensive.
Well, he's
always defensive.
Crazy defensive. Then, right, of course, you know, she posed the question like, hey, are we, you know, Kamala for DE&I? But I thought it was interesting, even if we were to say, of course, we all know her to be black, or we assume that she's black, or she says that she's black.
We assume.
Yeah,
is there a question?
Some people do. I mean, some people do question it. I'm not questioning. I'm just saying some people do question it.
Please, let's not.
But what's interestingly true about that is for him to say that all her life she's been Indian and now she's black.
She's turning black.
Right.
Now she's black.
Suggests to me that when it worked out in her favor for her to get to where she's at, she was Indian. Now that the thing that gets you more seen or more coverage or more for her to lean into is for her to be black now, in a sense, right? Not to say that she's not or haven't always been black, but now it's like we're leaning more into black so that we can get more publicity in a sense. And that's kind of the notion he was kind of pointing out.
Of course. I mean, he was trying to steer the narrative like she's been anti-black and not accepting her so-called black roots or heritage only when it's beneficial to her. That's what he was insinuating. Now she's black. She's always been Indian. That woman went to a HBCU and is an AKA.
There's
now
people at HBCUs and white people that are in.
Okay, but the majority are not. But what I'm saying is I've never seen her publicize and say I'm only this and that. She celebrates her Indian heritage because her mother is, but her father is Jamaican, Afro-Jamaican. So, I mean, and I think maybe that's a deeper conversation us as black people need to have, but she is a black woman. And rather blackness needs to walk and talk. What does that look like? Then I almost feels like it's offensive that I need to look and act black for you to know that what does that mean? Now I'm acting black, or now I'm black, or now I'm accepting black. What does that mean? Because it's not like she's going around. She's defending it because people were immediately attacking her heritage and saying she's not black. She has not waved the black flag and said, look, I'm black, y'all. Come and vote for me and eat some fried chicken and watermelon. Mm-hmm. That's not what that woman said. Initially, from the gate, people were denying who she was as her heritage. She said, no, I am Indian. My mother is South Indian. My father is Afro-Jamaican. I celebrate both of those on who I am. And yes, I do. I'm married to a white man. What does that mean? We're not a monolith in this country, but she a woman of color? Absolutely. So I think him saying it, of course, was disingenuous. It was a marketing strategy for him. You know, it's to move and change the narrative and move the goalposts that he is problematic, that he baits and insinuates race in this country, that he is, in fact, anti-black. That's who he is. But I think to say that about her is really, it uncovers and brings a lot of negativity when you talk and surround race at a Black event. I think it was very insulting to the people there, to be honest. And I think whatever he got during that interview and after that, he created the space and the environment for
I
that.
don't think he got nothing because he ain't answered no questions while he was
He
there.
doesn't. He's very unpresidential.
Only
He's
question
very
he really-
unpresidential.
he really answered was the whole black jobs theory.
He's not even professional. It's like professional and then presidential, right? It's supposed to be like he's under professional.
That might make him make him more qualified than that, right? Because don't he make him what's the word I'm looking for?
Relatable.
Relate to the
I don't want to be relatable to common. You are the president. There should be a certain cachet with being the president of the United States. I don't want a good old roundaway boy to be the president. I don't want that. I don't.
I get you.
You need to be academically astute. You need to understand world affairs. You need to understand, commerce, trade, business, not just on a really minute playing field. It's to be the president, meaning that you are shaking hands with world leaders, and it's complicated. And you can't be like a common man to me.
Mm-hmm. I think I just have a distaste for how
that's how white.
I just have a distaste for how they display them in a sense. And the issue that I have really is I don't think we really, nobody can kind of educationally really say why we should be voting for either one of these presidents, and definitely why we should be voting for Kamala over Trump.
But I know who I'm not voting for.
Right. That's the only thing that people can say based off the emotions that's
I don't think not really. He was president.
Asked him.
He was president. First of all, he never answers anything straight. He never gives you an answer to anything. To nothing.
I agree.
To nothing.
For sure,
right.
So if I am the black jobs thing,
if I'm supposed to then vote for you based on your agenda, thought, opinion, and how you would run this country, he's given us nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Right. But what we can go by is his track record when he was president. He's not new to us, right? He was here and destroyed our foreign relations, was trying to pull out of NATO. It's not like he doesn't have a kind of jacked up resume. It's not like he's new. And I think people need to go back and look at how he operated and governed the country when he was here.
Well, when they asked him that, it's specifically the black people. I know he mentioned how he funded HBCUs. How he funded down what's my man name? Tim Scott in South Carolina. That's his name.
His campaign
for equal opportunity zones.
He did what?
That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what
now anybody who is an opportunity new, is that a new thing he created for black people?
No, he probably
extended the bill. Opportunity zones have always been here,
but black people ain't been taken care of.
But whose fault is that? Opportunity zones are always been in urban areas for development. Always.
Mm-hmm.
It's at least since Bill Clinton, the opportunity zones have been there.
Sure.
He did nothing new, so I'm not giving him credit for that. Now, did he extend and say, well, yeah, we could keep opportunity zones?
I don't know.
But who builds in opportunity zones? Typically, the opportunity zones just say this is an opportunity for development because this area is suffocating.
For sure.
But most times it's not people of color who's developing them because we don't have access or don't know about how you could build and grow in those opportunity zones. So I ain't giving him credit for that.
I think as a people, though, outside of his international affairs, from a political standpoint,
I ain't giving him credit for no PPP and no stimulus.
My take would be that, especially black people, that we had an opportunity to see what
he did give us bonus depreciation.
We had an opportunity to see what it was like for a black president to be president. During them times, we also had the opportunity to see that not much was done specifically for our community. And so them same type of questions that they was attacking Trump with, which I feel are relevant. Hey, why do you want black voters? What are you going to do for the black community? What have you done? Right. I think we should be posing them same type of questions toward Kamala, especially if we're going to go off the narrative that she is black, which is why most people is going to vote for her regardless of who, what, when, where, why.
I think on the
And
face,
that's an issue
for sure. On the face value, yes, in terms of marketing wise, face value is because she's a black woman, right? It's a new and a first for everything, right?
Trump deflects.
However, in the past, I think it's really not even wise to keep asking presidents specifically what are you going to do for black communities, right?
Why not?
What are you going to do for low income and urban development?
Because it helps. About that. They care about themselves.
Okay, well, listen, the thing is,
every president looks out for their own people. Every community looks out for their own people. Only most community who's always overlooked, whether they rich or poor, is black people. What are you going to do for black people in America?
I don't think it should be a black people thing. What would you want a president to do specifically for black people? Now, there are policies that heavily affect us and benefit us, but it is a class low income thing. When Biden waived thousands and hundreds of millions of dollars in student loan debt, it wasn't specifically for black people, but it overwhelmingly we benefited from it. You know, it's not like a black thing, but we benefit because we're typically lowest on the totem pole. We're, you know what I mean? So when you talk about education, food insecurities, housing insecurities, that is us. So I don't think necessarily you got to carve out and say, well, this is for black people, because we are typically at the bottom. So when you say low income housing, food insecurities, daycare services, Head Start, that is us. So what else would you want?
Well, I mean, from a political standpoint, I don't think you're going to get nothing. That's why my reign is you need more businesses. You need more economics into the
now you do
black and poor communities.
You need to bridge the pipeline from low income housing and infrastructure. How do you build and create a system where people can produce in their communities, right? You know, also Biden did a lot of stuff for the black farmers, which Donald Trump did not, right? A lot, and it's not necessarily black. It is low income. It is rich against poor. The Republicans are a top-down philosophy. They believe in no regulation, less global and push it. Black farmers and small farmers are really being kind of pushed out. They can't survive on their family. Why? Because they're doing this globalization. We're going to buy fruits and vegetables from all over the world. So local farmers, whether they're rich or whether they're black or white, are suffering. Biden gave black farmers, low income farmers, an opportunity to play in, to step in the game. So I think it's locally is a thing. And I think we can't always say, what are you going to do for me? What specifically are you going to do for black people? Well, education, public education overwhelmingly affects black communities. So when you talk about, well, I want better paying jobs for my teachers, I want, free lunch for the students. Well, we want to put art back in public schools. That overwhelmingly affects our children. So my president don't have to say black, but if he's saying low income or poor, then I know that's representing my people, because that's typically where we are.
Yeah, but then I think the problem is when you look at it, those social norms, those social norms sound good from a public facing, but when you get into the weeds of it, it's detrimental to our development. And so that's like, that speaks in the lines of the Thomas Sowells of the world. Like, you put out, he did a study where they put out how, just for instance, this is probably going to sound crazy, but just for instance, how there was a situation on high pregnancy in teens, on how pregnancies in teens and venereal diseases was low. But after the government pushed into people having sex education into the schools, all of a sudden those things rose up. There was more teen pregnancy, more it has nothing to do, we're not even talking race, we just talking social norms and issues.
For sure.
More teen pregnancy, more
sure.
venereal diseases were spread.
Yeah.
And so when you look at that, it's the basis of the social movement or social welfare that the programs is pushed, but beneath that, it's actually the problem that's being caused. And when I look at from a political standpoint, I think I will always say, well, what are you going to do for Black people? Here's the reason why. I think everybody has the right to kind of carve out what they feel should have for them, meaning that I should always put myself first when I'm thinking about how I'm choosing to vote or what I choose to get into. And when you don't think that way, it suggests that, because Black people are always in a pool with other people. It's never just like, can we take care of our community? And I think that we have a right to kind of stand on that. At the same time, we need to be building up our own stuff. There's less jobs because we're not producing more jobs. There's more poverty because we're not free trading on economics. The dollar don't even circulate in our community in some instance. And when you look at people like the Asian community, who are probably 0.1% in politics, but they got more wealth than most Black people, even most white Americans.
For sure. So what politics is, and I think people kind of get confused a little bit with it, is that politicians, and I think sometimes it's too much superhero talk. They're not your savior. They're not the end all be all.
That's right.
They are partners in what you're trying to do. And so if you're going to this only vote every 4 years and not hold your local officials accountable, right, and not also do self work, then we're having these same redundant circular conversations.
Yeah.
Because you cannot expect one man to fix the degenerative sickness that's in our community that took 300 years plus to get here. Mm-hmm. So I think for us to have this conversation, like, what is this president going to do for us? Mm-hmm. What are you going to do for you? And partner with your political leaders. It's a partnership.
I agree.
So I don't think we can say, well, what are they going to do for the Black community? You're not willing to do nothing. It, to me, is like crazy sauce.
Yeah. Well, listen.
So tell us what y'all think.
Yeah. It's a constant back and forth, right? So David said a couple things. Politics and business go hand in hand.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes.
Top down benefits the rich and hurts the people at the bottom.
Absolutely.
I don't know, but
absolutely,
we'll
absolutely. Top down thinks only about themselves.
Right, but everybody think about themselves.
Right, but if we all move in that vein,
the poor is not thinking about themselves enough to stop being poor.
Okay, so that's
our problem. We're gonna be moving on, y'all. The
haves have to give up a little bit so the have-nots can have a little bit more.
That sounds insane.
It does not. It does not. It does not. Business does not care about you. The industries,
correct,
regulations don't care about you, but government and poor help police.
The government don't care about you.
Okay.
Listen, we live, y'all.
Right.
This is new though. We like it. All right,
we trying to figure it out. We trying to figure it out. Our producer said, "Move on, move on." Y'all done beat Donald Trump and Kamala over the head. So y'all,
it'll be a consistent conversation though. It is an election year, so we'll be continue to talk about business and politics that, as they do, I believe, do play hand in hand.
Local elections, y'all. Find out your district. What district are you in? I did a Zoom meeting the other night with the police chief. Listen.
Oh yeah.
That's right. They was talking about what they're doing in the community, the old police, what they're doing. You know what I mean? And you can ask questions. They're people. Hold them accountable. Y'all better get in there.
The police.
I don't care what you keep saying the police for.
Police.
I can't confirm or deny how I feel. Some days is this, and I'm okay with the police.
Okay. So
I don't have no qualms with the police.
Listen, on Monday, the stock market kind of like took a little dip. Everywhere.
Did it? Globally.
It was like everywhere.
It was global. That thing was like
it went into everything was red, y'all. Like it was just like,
What was it? Let me see. It's at almost 1.6 something trillion
Yeah.
dollars.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have my notes somewhere. Y'all be
I
trying to
didn't forget
study. Y'all be trying to get my little thing
yeah.
out. Where is
But I
it?
thought it was interesting though, because I think it kind of stemmed from over in Japan.
It was global.
Right,
It was
right,
global.
right,
Our
right,
global
right.
market. So
Everything was red.
you could see how connected we are as a global economy.
It was like
right?
the lowest since like 19.
Absolutely. And it all stemmed from our low jobs
Mhm.
rating, how slow our economy is going. They were saying, it was only 100,000 or so jobs were created, or what's the word I'm looking for? Only 100,000 jobs were kind of put into the system in July. That's not a lot comparing to our overall population. That's really low.
But it seems
really,
like
and so then people are laying off, and they're not hiring.
They're not hiring.
So then that really spooks the shareholders and people with money, because when you have money and the market is not going well, they tend to then pull back. And then old boy sold almost 50% of his ownership in Apple. Your guy.
Who? Warren Buffett.
Yeah, man.
But before we jump on that, I think that I don't know. I think the jury's still out on central banks and the Feds with their heightened rate, right? And so you got
they're
some
trying
people,
to slow down inflation.
Yeah, but you got some people who are thinking
because they want you to feel the pain. That's it. Literally said in the article.
and look at how it's affecting. Like the global markets is down. People are. I mean, I know somebody personally affected by being laid off and still haven't found a job, right? And so, but I don't know.
It almost has to happen for it to reset, right?
Yeah.
You cannot have so many years of growth without it resetting. You gotta come back down. It's unsustainable.
But then
I
guess if we don't, like, he didn't cut the rate. I don't know. Is he going to do it in September or not?
They probably were.
He's thinking he might, right? But then, like, to me, it kind of suggests like there's no trust in the businessmen and women to kind of like, in a sense, regulate themselves. Because if we cut the rate, we're going to get more funding, which means that's going to
more consuming, more buying,
and then you're going to have more jobs because you're going to need more fulfillment.
Because people are consuming more. It's
re-regulate itself.
It's real. It's almost a dysfunction of consumerism, right? Because that's what fuels our economy, unfortunately, because we don't produce a lot, which is why globally it's affected, because we consume so much, right? We get a lot of our goods and services from China, from overseas, right? Because they produce and we buy. So when we don't have discretionary money, when our jobs are down, when our GDP is down, then the world goes, oh, the US are not buying from us.
Yeah.
So it drops their valuations, and it's valuations, it's money, and it's affecting what? The large 401s, your teacher pensions, your police and fire, like they invest heavily into the stock,
and you definitely got to take a look at what the big retail investors or hedge funds are doing, Warren Buffett being one of them. Warren Buffett ended up, and of course we're talking today is what's today, Wednesday the 7th. So as of yesterday, the stock market is up and
rebounding,
green, right?
Yeah,
it's green. So it was just that one day that it was kind of down.
But a lot of value was lost
for sure.
Yeah.
But Warren Buffett been kind of backing out of stocks, and so they're the stock market being up, Nvidia's up, Google's up, Microsoft is up, your tech industry is up, banking is up. I seen a clip from JP Morgan and Chase that was really good, the CEO now. But Warren Buffett been kind of backing out of Apple since last year. And what was interesting was he already had backed out of them in the second quarter of this year, but announced it like Saturday.
You think he knows something we don't know?
Well, that's what a lot of people are suggesting, but I don't know. I personally, I feel like it has like an estate play, right? Because when he did his annual meeting back in May, he mentioned like, hey, he was like, there's nothing wrong. I talked to Tim, and I think Apple is great. He still got a heavy stake in there.
Yeah, he still
pulled
does.
out of Apple and Bank of America.
Maybe he's trying to diversify and take that,
but
that liquidity and put it in
he's wanting more
else.
Cash to buy something else.
Yeah.
The problem is though, is he has a lot of money, which means that whatever he puts his money in,
he's gonna have a large stake in it, and you better watch it, because that's probably gonna be the next industry moving thing. It's probably gonna be something like AI. I'm thinking it's gonna be an AI thing, because it said
David said T-Sphere. All right, David.
It said, he said what?
He said tease Farah. Carl said, not to double back on it, but we moved on from Trump. But Carl said Trump should refrain. Is the question was too heavy for him? Instead, he challenged Rachel Scott in an offensive way. Yeah,
That's what he does. He.
But I mean, but that's a double-sided
I don't wanna go
sword
back
there
to
because
that.
I don't want to go back to it. But if you definitely watch that clip, which we posted from CNN, she opened up and I thought he felt offensive, which made him respond that way because he was like that the whole situation.
He's
but
always offended.
not to
His whole.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, so my man,
You're not gonna do angry black woman. We're not gonna do that.
I'm not. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm not saying it was an angry black woman thing. However, she opened
aggressive.
up, hard charged them. I'm not going.
How about she was just being professional? She's a woman and she knows that he's slippery. Why not? I'm
a relational person. You know, the first thing Trump said when he heard her say that, he said, "You didn't even say hello." She's
transactional.
Right.
Let's get to this point here, sir.
No.
You a slippery, slithering snake. No. And I'm going to try to hold you accountable to these questions that you never answer.
No.
And I understand her. Me and her on the same page. Yeah. I see you, snake.
You need to
Let me trim this grass.
You need to go over there and be with her.
That's right.
From, but hey, all this stuff's, like affecting everything. So with Warren Buffett moving in and out of companies.
Yeah.
People are definitely watching on how it's going to affect the stock market. And I think
they said he has 790 million.
He sold a lot.
Value down to now he owns 400 and something million. Yeah. So he still owns
at the beginning of May, he was 189 billion in cash. And I think with his recent move,
where
is
that money?
He's like,
where do you hold that? Can I ask the billionaires? Can y'all just in our chat, chat, if we can get a billion, can somebody share it? Share it to a billionaire. Share it to the billionaire.
Where
I want to know, where do you hold that type of money? You ain't gotta tell me where, but somebody could share it to the billionaire and ask them, is there a place that holds $1 billion? Is it FDIC insured? Is it like a secret club?
It's definitely diversified.
Where do you hold? It's not a Bank of America account. No. It's not. Where are you holding $1 billion in cash?
He's hitting on it too.
Not in like assets. Not like, I got 4 islands and I own like the state of New York.
He was the one that made me think like
the money.
As we, most of us be like, credit is king or whatever. I'd be like, no, I think, not that all that credits don't matter, but cash play a good role in it too.
They're partners. They're like,
got the money
like
for
first
sure.
and second cousins. They're right there. You gotta have both.
Yeah.
You gotta have both. You definitely gotta have a little bit of both. So any billionaires, could y'all just in our
let
chat,
us know, huh?
Where are y'all holding the $1 billion?
Where's that? Cayman Islands, Switzerland.
Who's holding the bank?
Same place.
Where's the money? Who's holding the money? The same place where Coca-Cola put that
right. Same place Coca-Cola swindling money.
Where
from the IRS.
That money.
Listen, from an economic standpoint, though, sports play a good role in it too. As
the Olympics.
The Olympics was real heavy this year. I don't know if that's because I just decided to watch it.
I watched it. Definitely track and field and the gymnastics.
I was watching all kind of stuff. Surfing. I was just so amazed. I'm like, y'all, they surfing.
Yeah.
I'm like, where y'all was at? Points on surfing. It was interesting to see.
I'm always curious about the people that do that heavy ball. It'd be from here and they'd be like, ugh.
Oh, the shot put. Yep. That's what I used to do in track. Yep.
The medicine ball, the giant
dude
ball.
Was big too. America won. Huge. He was big.
We killed it in track and field, Jamaica.
Man, let me tell you about
that relay. I was like, don't get it.
No, but what was hurting was
shout out to the women's American track and field.
I think it was the 400-meter race, and I might get a little bit of developmental in here, but the 400-meter race was so crazy to me because
the women's or the men's.
No, it was a combination.
The both.
Right.
Okay.
Combination of
okay. Both. Yeah, they were lean. They ran.
So American
took it. That's right.
No, the one I watched the other day, Saturday, America was winning, right? get the relay. Boom, they switch off to the next person. Boom.
It was like man, woman, woman.
It came down to the last section of it was all women. You had America, and then the woman from the Netherlands came up and won.
I think
and true in business, right? The girl was running, she was running, and it was crazy because you can see her like, I don't want to use the word quit, but she was tired. And the woman from the Netherlands came up and she just had that last little push, that last little leg. It was like she took to a whole nother gear and won. I was like, that's crazy. And America was in the lead the whole time. But I was just like, that's crazy how it is because, you know, that's the same thing with business, life, everything. You got to have that endurance. But the people who go from good to great always have that extra gear that they could kick in and just take it over the finish line.
That's
exactly what she did.
That's the true Olympian.
That's exactly what she did.
It was the 100-meter relay that the women took it. The fastest women alive. It was Sha'Carri.
Right, that was the 100-meter relay. Right,
right. The one you're saying is the longer.
Right. They go all the way around 400 meter. Yeah. But then you know, your girl, what's my girl name from we had the picture up to from the gymnast. I was amazed, you know, you got 3 black women who walked away gold, silver, bronze, period.
That's right.
On what they was doing. There they go. Yep. Simone Biles, Rebecca, and Jordan, right? And so was killing it, right? In their own women in their own right. But Americans ain't getting a lot of money from the Olympics.
Listen, the Olympics, I did my little research because we was talking about it. And I said, first of all, they said the Olympic, the Paris prediction is supposed to generate almost up to like $12.2 billion, right? In Paris,
crazy,
right?
In LA in 2028.
In LA, right? Yeah. So that's why they're getting ready now. That's economic. So listen, if you are a business person, you're gonna try to figure out how to be a part of and be in Los Angeles in 4 years or right now, setting it up, buy some land, set up a shop. Like
I can endorse.
You better
wear my logo.
Get in with the city council, urban development, figure out what's happening. Well, they're gonna develop. They put millions of dollars into setting up these villages where the athletes live, the food, the industry.
That's a lot of people coming in.
Absolutely, infrastructure. So you can get government
Hotels,
contracts,
money,
everything. Get you an Airbnb. Think
restaurant.
Because this could set you up for a long time. These people pay
That's a good play.
Money.
If you in LA or California,
you don't even have to be. It's 4 years. Get there tomorrow.
Right?
Shit. It's
hey, show up in LA.
Oakland, like they'll have them in different places,
right?
But they plan now. So I'm saying, get on the city council.
Food trucks.
They do the zoning now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's there now, so you know it's happening. It's not a surprise.
It's gonna let you know where they're gonna be. Absolutely. Everybody's planning for it right now.
Roads,
so they can be ready for it.
That
traffic gonna be great.
The village, I'm talking about, because they were talking about how much the housing that they put up for the village, sponsorships.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to be a sponsor. Maybe you're trying to find an Olympian right now to wear your sweatshirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Branding, co-branding, they'll think. Because 4 years, it could be life-saving. It could change your life if you get a Gabby Douglas or an Olympian to wear something, or your perfume or something that could change your life. But I definitely digress. But
I mean, no, you're still right on topic, because it does make sense. Like, that's how I found, like, Flavor Flav sponsored the women's polo team.
Right.
I don't know if Snoop got to be the most interesting human being in America.
I love Snoop. I love all his rebrands. First of all, when he did it with Martha Stewart, I said, you better do that, Snoop.
That boy Snoop, whoever in his team be telling him right.
Yes.
He $500,000
a day. A day plus, because he's getting endorsements
every year.
Certain things.
Every segment showed him somewhere. Like,
absolutely.
If they showed a celebrity, they was looking for Snoop.
Absolutely.
He in the swim with the swim people.
I absolutely love it for him, for Uncle Snoop. Hey, Uncle Snoop, can y'all share the live to Uncle Snoop?
Yeah.
Uncle Snoop, who's your PR? How did you get that? I love that. Give us some tips on how to reinvent. If it was anybody, share it to Uncle Snoop. Don't share it to everybody, but share it to Uncle Snoop. I want to ask him where he holding his money, because they say he worth like 21 something million. Uncle Snoop, where are you
Really?
hiding your money, Uncle
I
Snoop?
was
What bank
expecting to be
is
much
holding your
bigger.
millions?
I guess.
No, I'm sorry. Don't tell us what bank, but is there a bank? Do you have like, I just want to know, how does that work with
We're about to
multimillionaires?
get into. They got the lock key with the back door with the vault in the back.
Is it liquid cash or is it just numbers on the account? Is it gold bullions? Where is
Look,
it's where?
listen, it's spread across all of the
One
world.
day I'll be able to tell y'all.
probably
'cause
right
I'm gonna
in the
I
central
want to be a
banks.
21 millionaire. I'm able to tell y'all. I'm gonna come back and say this is where us
We gonna do it.
keep
at.
the money. That's right. So
We gonna do it.
the Olympics, the prediction is 12.2 million.
Yeah.
The highest paid athlete in the Paris Games is golfer John Rahm. He's a Spaniard. He makes 210 million.
For
And
playing
that's
golf?
hot, and that's from when he went to
The golf match wasn't that good to me. I watched.
I try. I'm really not into golf. That's not my thing, but the money is there.
That's my thing.
The money is
love golf.
in golf. So it's something there.
It's a lot there.
Is it a discipline? Like, what is it with golf that is it a think? Like, I don't have, for me, it's
just-
very difficult. I
it's
cannot
just-
connect the
Oh,
putt
like
to the
actual
ball.
play? Mm.
So is it like a mental strategy game? Is it?
You know, I definitely think so. I think that's why I like it though. Golf is a game that's very individualized, and so one hole you could be in made par, the next hole you got double bogey. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
a
sorry.
definitely
I'm not
reset.
catching any of that.
But I
But
don't-
the
I don't
money
know
is
why.
there. So I'm going to try to tap in and figure it out.
It's there. It's there.
I'm going
It's-
to try. So Simone Biles, she 7 gold medals. She grossed maybe 137,000,
Mhm.
which is like, that's what the US will pay her per
For the
7
gold medal.
for being on the team. Now, some of the top 4 countries, now you might want to transfer, but if she flipped and somersaulted for Hong Kong, they would have paid her $768,000
Ain't nobody going.
per gold medal.
That's
Per
not
gold
bad.
medal. And
Hong Kong got that money.
that's right. Singapore, if she would have did a little thing for Singapore, 745,000.
Hey, that's the country. Is that the country where the basketball team was almost gave America the run for that? Who was that? South Sudan.
You better do that, South Sudan. Listen.
They
Indonesia, 300K per gold, and Israel, 271 per gold.
Oh, it's not bad.
So she can go flip for Israel and make a
Mm-mm.
bag. No,
She gonna
all
stay in
right.
America. They gonna endorse her. She probably a millionaire, and she with the NFL player. He can't stray too far from his team.
I don't really know what he doing.
He playing them.
What team is he on? Somebody. He's a Chicago Bear.
Yeah.
What's his position? Wide running back receiver. What he
Oh
doing?
my God.
He is safety.
I don't know for sure though.
He is
Oh,
safety.
He start. He gonna get no
Exactly.
playing
Get
time.
your ass
He getting a
on
check.
track.
He getting a check though.
Get on up out of here.
All right, look, y'all. So the Olympics is Olympics definitely brought in some economics, right? And so from a business perspective, like you said, it's coming to LA 2028.
Right.
Better rally behind it to get you some money, get
Yeah.
your coins.
If
up.
you gotta take some equity out on your home and
Yeah.
strategize and think,
Yeah.
can I get an Airbnb?
Yeah.
Can I start a business? Can I
Yeah.
buy some land?
Yeah.
Can I what? And if you a big player, get you and your group together. You got an investment group.
Yeah.
Let's build some hotels. We can make it the athlete village.
I'm trying to
Let's
sponsor.
endorse a team.
That's gonna be my.
I know some of y'all out there got some money. Shan's,
Yeah.
500, Neo, y'all, Marcus.
Put
Put y'all money together and sponsor an Olympian.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Put that recession proof of somebody back during the
I
Olympics.
don't think it's gonna take much. How much Flavor Flav worth? Flavor
I
Flav.
know they could do it, but if Flavor Flav could do it, I know some
Don't
of
be
our
hating on my
powerhouses
man,
here.
Flavor
I
Flav
am not.
now.
However,
Flavor Flav. Let me
what's
see
his
what
net
he
worth?
Right.
Is his? I know we
Flavor
got some
Flav,
power
let me
players
see.
here that could sponsor an Olympian and be ready for the Olympics of 2024. I mean 2028.
Jay-Z and them could do it too.
What?
2 million. He
Bye.
got a net worth of 2 million.
So I know he
And
ain't paid 2
supported
million.
The women's polo team. Them women was struggling.
I would find you a
2
black.
million.
Listen, find a black golfer because if that's where the money at. The people is watching the golf. find a black golfer and put something on his shirt, his back, his golf clubs.
That's a good idea.
Do something. Get him, buy him a tricked out with them little carts. Buy him a tricked out cart, something.
300,000 on there, so Eagle Financial Group could
listen
on the Nike side.
I put something. Get his golf club. Like I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna wrap your golf
Look,
club.
y'all.
I'll figure it out. But you got some years.
You do.
Start today for tomorrow,
man. And some recent tax news.
Oh yeah, honey. Yeah,
that's Warren Buffett, longest invested company. He's been in Coca-Cola since like the 90s, but they
not no more.
He's still in Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is a good company.
Sure, it is.
As far as they don't drink the Coke though, but
it's gonna kill you. When I was researching this, I found everything else but how
Minute Maid is hidden.
How it's like corrode in your teeth. How it's giving you cancer, corrode in your teeth. Allegedly, yeah. Coca-Cola. Allegedly, we are small podcast. Yeah. Allegedly, Coca-Cola.
I was just in the facility about 3 months ago.
Now, I don't know. I don't really know their I don't drink.
But they're in trouble with the IRS a little bit. Huh?
$6 billion that they owe in back taxes.
Yeah.
From dating back 20 years, from 2007 to 2009, they owe $6 billion, 2.7 in actual taxes and 3.3 billion in interest.
Yeah. So I mean, why is this relevant? Listen, anybody can get it from
anybody
the IRS.
Can get it.
Just have your records there.
They be like the
records.
Anybody could get
like
it.
They pointing me out. No, they trying to find their money. Right?
It'll take the larger companies longer because they got money to kind of
fight it back.
And fight it.
Yep. They in court to prove that their deduction is legal, legit.
They got 90 days
business use
to get it reviewed by the appellate court, but they already like no.
Yeah, so if they can fight it, listen,
it's not gonna happen.
They probably win.
And so what they did was
definitely gonna get rid of some interest. We ain't paying all that interest
for sure. But what they did is what a lot of some people do is they underreported their income. They said for 20 years. I mean, from 27.
That's what the IRS think they did.
Oh, they did. The IRS know it. I'm pretty sure. That's why they won. No. They said, Ninja, y'all got this money over here in the Cayman Islands.
Where did it come from?
And over here,
Coca-Cola said we got investments in these various.
They said no.
International
The forensic accountant said, bring that back. Let's run that back. You owe us because you ain't pay your taxes because you underreported your income.
Coca-Cola they probably said what Frank Lucas said. I got lawyers. I got people too.
People think they can. People think you can till you can't.
One of the beauties about America is you can prove it. It's either gonna go or it ain't. You either won or you don't win. You innocent or you guilty, and you got the right to prove it.
Donald Trump next.
Well, in other news. He won his. Didn't he beat his cases?
No. Mm-mm.
What case?
The taxes?
Oh no. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, that's a whole nother subject.
Mm-hmm. They get you. They eventually get you.
Yeah, they'll find you.
Trust me.
Especially when you're in the public eye.
And I ain't in the public eye.
No, not yet.
I'm in the eye of the public.
But listen, now that was pretty
Yeah.
interesting though,
So
to kind of see. Yeah. So from an economic perspective, y'all let us know what's going on.
So at every stage of the game, you definitely want to make sure your taxes are done.
Benefited in 96.
See?
96
when the Olympics was here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the mayor in 96?
I think it was a woman.
Oh yeah.
Was it that lady? I don't know.
We don't got the research team up.
I wasn't here. That's the next one, y'all. Next one, we get our research team together. Give us a momento. Just give us a moment. Who was the? I think it was the woman. What's her name? I don't know. But I heard it was. I heard it was. It was very beneficial. A lot of contracts. People made a lot of money. So think about that. In LA, 2028, get your stuff going. Get it together.
Let's see.
Because trust and believe. The permits and the zoning right now is going through your council people and to get zoning approved. It's about to change. That's why they're starting what? They already started in LA building the homes for the homeless.
Bill Campbell.
Who?
Bill Campbell.
Oh, Bill Campbell. They already started with the homeless housing, the unhoused, I'm sorry, or the housing deficiency. What do they call the home? They're not called homeless no more. The unhoused, I'm sorry. LA has already started building homes for the unhoused population to get them off the street for the Olympics. They've already started.
Now that's a doggone shame.
Now, after the Olympics,
back out there.
So, but that's for private investment, because I'm sure it's private money that says, all right, we're going to build these. We're going to house these people. But when the Olympics is over, I'm sure they got great tax cuts. They probably bought like the land. What's that land that the government owns, that the city owns? I forgot those land banks. They probably had land in the land banks, sold it to a private company. Y'all build here, put it all, but let's put the unhoused there. After the Olympics, this is what they said they're going to do. You can now rent it out. You can now do affordable regular apartments and sell it.
Well, I mean, it's a thing, y'all. So so far we done went all the way all around the world. We done talked about Trump and Kamala. We done went through the economic system of what's happening in the Olympics and politics, and all that good stuff.
We talked about the stocks.
Yeah,
we had a lot going on. We talked about Coca-Cola owing money. Now, I do want to mention one thing, because we talked about inflation and how government, you say, doesn't work, but this is where regulation comes in. The FTC, pushed by Congress, is investigating the top grocery companies. They're investigating them over the high food prices, because people are petitioning Congress and talking about why is General Mills, why are the food pricing so high? So the FTC is investigating.
And they're going to hit a brick wall, because you got to go see Powell.
No, that's not why. They're a private company. General Mills has nothing to do with why cereal is $5. They're their own manufacturer. You buy your wheat and grain from wherever.
Inflation does, though.
Not for some private companies. Now, banking no, absolutely not. That would be like, of all of a sudden, all tech software is $1,000. That's nothing to do with inflation.
What you mean? Why not? Inflation drives prices.
In certain industries and sectors,
you
absolutely.
Trying to tell me it don't affect all industries?
It does not.
That's impossible.
Did your tech software go up? Did your fees go up?
Yep.
It did not. It did not. Mine did.
I gotta talk with the people in the back.
Definitely.
That's a numbers game, though. But it definitely costs us.
Certain factors, it does not affect.
But overall, being honest, we probably losing money. It costs more to live. Period. That's due to inflation.
For sure, right?
And prices haven't.
But typically people increase.
QuickBooks software went up, and they let you know.
For sure.
Every 2 to 3 months.
Amazon went up.
Everything goes up.
My Gmail, my Office, my G Suite went up.
And they kindly let you know. We doing a price increase on software.
But it's a small increase. But why?
Still an increase.
Okay, but
that's due to
General
inflation.
Mills, it's not always inflation. Sometimes it's through corporate greed. Why then, if you're saying
it costs them more,
that's why they're investigating. Because y'all lying. You're lying.
If it costs them more to produce, we gotta charge more to eat up the cost.
But how much more? Reasonably more.
What you mean?
Reasonable.
We still gotta make a profit.
Ooh, you.
You go in business to make profit. You don't go in business.
That's why we're gonna have the zombie apocalypse. People just greed. Corporate greed is the deterioration of democracy in the middle class.
All right.
You trying to push us over the edge a little bit faster.
All right. I guess people.
So you should let companies keep
change.
Continuing price no matter what.
I'm not saying that, but one thing affects another.
True.
Inflation is definitely a high driver.
3% inflation annually, maybe 4%. Right, that's where typically
even Trump mentioned it.
I'm not paying
at the convention.
I wouldn't.
He said we're gonna cut the rates so inflation can drop. So you can listen what he said. We're gonna cut the rate so the inflation can drop, so you can afford bacon and ham. That's exactly what he said. Now I thought that was pretty interesting, but.
Well, yeah, because he speaks lower to the average man, and that's
right.
not that's the same thing he said.
Alone. That's one.
That's the same thing he said. Where I'm not going to tax tips on waitresses and waiters.
Yeah. I got
It's
you.
not that easy, but it sounds good.
But I think we just
good.
you know, we just need to change.
Go ahead and investigate FTC. I want to know why my family value box is $6.
And Jerome Powell is gonna say we reserve the right.
No, I want to know what General Mills has to tell me that. I want to know your cost and where has it gone up.
It's public, I'm sure. Ain't that supposed?
That's why they investigating. Because y'all lying.
Well, it sounds like we need to change.
Because everybody's Nope.
Look, so speaking of change, I caught the live episode, or it wasn't live, but the last episode of Secret to Success podcast.
Right, so this is a part of our live show where we transition to personal growth and development.
Ding 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 ding. And so they were talking about like change, like people it is right, and it struck a chord with me, not in a negative way, but it goes down to my whole as I'm discovering my own beliefs and systems that I believe in, and not just going with the get going because that's what people do or how I was raised.
I think he said people are obsessed with change.
Well, we got the
more
clip.
than the change.
Yeah. We
more
got the
than
clip.
the actual thing
of change. So we're gonna show y'all the clip, as I thought it was very profound.
When I watched
prolific.
it really it always
whole interview was really good.
No, for sure, because I'm like,
well, we'll catch this clip real quick and then get y'all going.
You're right. Yeah. One of the things I'm starting to realize, bro, and I'm gonna say it again, I know y'all heard me, but it's crazy. It's like people want change more than they want to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
Slow it down.
It's crazy. People want change more than they want change.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing, bro. It's like I'm starting to realize why people have like mental, like when somebody say he bipolar, all that ain't chemical. Cause I remember running with you and you wasn't doing that.
Right.
I remember you wasn't stressed out like that. But what happens is you start like getting exposed to stuff and you start like, oh man, I want that. I want it. Like I want that experience, but you don't change as a human, so you can't get that experience.
So I mean, you know, it to my views, I'm very hardcore on them, and so when you look at it, like, you know, it's that accountability piece that we talk about all the time. Like people do want change, but don't really want to do the work to change,
because it's hard.
It is.
It's
but
hard.
It's also hard being where you at. I mean, you know what I mean?
You spend a lot of time with those habits, and to change that takes a certain amount of willpower and strength to overcome it. If you've been living your life in a certain mindset for a period of time, let's say 30 years, you've been doing the same thing for 30 years. You may not have another 30 to change it, right? So then you got to change and adjust really fast in a year or 2 years to make the rest of your life more beneficial for you. And that's tough, man. I mean, I do have some easier natural disciplines that it makes it easier for me, but sometimes I get tired. And so I'm like, hey, to keep ratcheting it up another gear, man, you're like,
I'd be like that girl from the Netherlands. She kicked another gear, boy. She kicked it into another gear.
Yeah, you got to dig deep.
I jumped out the bed like, oh snap!
Yeah. Because the reverse is then what do you do, right? And also in that podcast, you talked about, you know, or I think it was CJ. They were talking about, you know, if you wake up and you have, you know, a bad marriage, then how do you fix the bad marriage? You don't keep doing the same thing every day. So we pose the question to you: if you don't like the life you're living and you're not happy with where you are, you got to change that. And what steps are you taking to change it, right? And first is acknowledging, hey, I don't like where I am. I don't like my relationship with my wife, with my mother, with my friends and family. Maybe I don't like, you know, my job. I need to produce more income. Now, if you're happy where you are and life is good for you and you do not require anything else, then you're good.
And that's another thing he said too. Like, don't say, you know, like, don't tell me that you want to change.
Yeah.
Because then right? I'm hitting you with that. Like, you know what I mean? You
I'm
like,
holding
yo,
you
we
accountable.
going to the gym. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And I'll tell people what I'm doing to be held accountable. But don't tell me that that's what you want to do if your actions are showing otherwise.
'Cause-
Like, it's cool
yeah.
if you want to be mediocre. I ain't even gonna hold you. Stay that way. It might be the best thing for you.
It is. It may be, because
It might be the
then
best
you're not
thing
stressing
for
me
you.
out over telling me what you don't like.
Don't come
and
complain
complaining.
talking
Yeah.
about the bills is this and that and this is don't do it. Just don't do it to me, because I don't have the capacity for it. Not no
I
more.
definitely don't.
And I think when you ready to change, like, it breeds a different type of person in you. You start to cut stuff off. You might realize it might be your mom and them that you need to stay away from. It might be you changing spouses. It might be
move
you.
around.
Right. It might be you moving from city to city,
Move around.
job to job,
Absolutely.
skill to skill.
And especially in this day and age, you really need to self-assess.
Yep.
And a lot of it is built in, we talked about it in a few episodes before, it's built and rooted sometimes in fear.
Yeah.
Because in this day and age, you can almost do anything digitally. Nobody is really doing anything personally anymore, building those relationships, moving abroad, going overseas, right? If you don't like the life you're living, change it.
Yeah.
Right. It's a quote. I forgot who quoted it, but they were like, you are not a tree, you can move. Right. It's like, you are not roots, you're not stuck and dug in. Get up and move. Right. Change it. Change your environment, move around. But people, it's tough, right? It's tough for people to change and move and get out of their comfort zone, because we are creatures of habit, right? And so
and that's just reign true, man. Politics aside, personal opinions aside, at the end of the day, you got to do what's right for you and your family.
Yeah.
And if you don't like how you living, you want to do something different, which you have the ability to do. You have the ability to change. You have the ability to go after the dreams you want to go after. Just make the decision and do it, and get around the people that's fostering that type of movement. It's a reason why eagles only hang with eagles. It's a reason why lions is with lions, African wild dogs are with African wild dogs.
I mean, that's great, right? I get that.
Don't be no eagle with the ducks.
But if I'm an eagle
or the pigeon
and you a duck, I might not want you with me.
Hey,
if you a
duck gotta become an eagle.
You need to make yourself
an eagle.
Desirable for ducks to eagles to hang with you.
Right.
Right.
Because you got to become an eagle.
You got to make yourself useful. You got to have some utility about yourself.
That's right. That's right.
You got to
That's
be.
Right. It got to be benefiting.
That's right. So don't just go hang around and stressing the eagles out.
Right. Because you broke.
Figure out how you can be of use to the eagles.
Of value.
Right. Right.
That's right.
There you go.
That's how you do it, y'all. So it's Minding Your Biz, live episode down in the books. We did it. Despite, inspiring.
We
all
had
that
too many
stuff.
hiccups and stuff, right?
We didn't.
Did y'all share the live to Snoop? Don't forget to share the live to Snoop and to the billionaire. Find the billionaire.
Robert Smith.
Share it to Robert Smith. I need
Robert
to
Smith
know where
you should deploy all your money.
The billions are hiding
into your business to build it up. If you don't do a business, then you can do stocks.
And this is where are they keeping the bill? If you're I'm talking about the liquid folks.
Oh my God.
Not the investment.
Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, hit that
folks.
bell. We're gonna keep it going, y'all.
Where's the money?
And we definitely gonna do this more often than not.
Yes.
Right? We definitely gonna do this more often than not. Weekly.
Every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Probably about 10:15ish. But
listen, change is hard. I'm working
on
it. Working on it.
We'll be somewhere around the 10 o'clock era. I got y'all, people. So we'll see y'all in the next episode. Okay. Peace. Let us know how you like it. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to keep minding your biz. Peace.